お帰りなさいませ.
Wow, that was freaking intense. And right now I'm just stuck on the ending and I need to do a recap. But gosh dang, this recap's gonna be a little quicker because it's mostly action. Let's just go through it, right? So Tanjiro and Uzui are about to go for the slash, but that's clearly not gonna happen. That's what I could tell from the opening. I think every one of us could tell Gyutaro was not gonna die there. Uzui, we get a flashback of him visiting his family grave with his 3 wives, Hinatsuru, Suma, and then Makyo. And Uzui's talking about one day he'll have a drink with his family. And as we can see in this moment, I wrote it the other way around, but I'm just going to say it this way. Uzui has like severe real depression. This man talks about going to like the terrible afterlife and basically trying to live his best flashy life now in order for his siblings. So everything he's doing is kind of in a sense of responsibility, and as well as his I'm a flashy guy kind of thing, which is something you wouldn't get from just seeing his character at the beginning. You would just think he might be a character that's very full of himself. And as well, I was questioning and wondering if the color scheme of Makyo, Suma, and Hinatsuru could mean anything, for the fact that red and blue and purple are all the color schemes, and as you know, red and blue make purple. And I would say out of all of them, Hinatsuru is probably the most mature out of all the wives there. Makyo has the opposite personality, being kind of, I don't want to call her, she's not hot-headed. Angry is still technically the word. Like, Suma is technically more sad, but I don't think I like that as a description for her. I'd have to think about it a little bit more because we got that episode with kind of diving into her character. Maybe more serious is the word. But I say that when she puts petals in her hair and to try to get Tengen to take petals off of her head like he did Hinatsuru's as she acts to keep the petal. And I wrote, Tengen does and doesn't understand women. And that was funny. But yeah, so he grew his legs back like stupid fast and his arms and blocks from both Tengen and Tanjiro. Hinatsuru, as I think he like knocks him away or whatever else, so they start fighting right back on the ground or something like that. But Hinatsuru, oh no, they're on the ground. I'm stupid. They're on the ground currently with that first slash. There's 2 slashes in here that are almost exactly the same, so my brain got them confused. Then he runs up to where Hinatsuru is because she's like, don't worry about me, Lord Tengen. I'm gonna keep like she's trying to keep those ropes, the scarves down or whatever else, and she's basically just being involved in the fight. Gyutaro goes right up to her, grabs her right by the face, and now we see Tengen in a different sort of mindset again. So we also get the flashback, and this looks like a death flashback. We got a whole like, oh man, once we defeat a higher level demon, this was Hinatsuru, we should go back, we should leave, and then at that point, you know, we can just go live by ourselves, the 4 of us, you know, just relaxing, chilling. They did their job basically, and it's fine for them to leave after killing an upper floor demon, or upper level demon, whatever it's called. There's probably a little bit more into that, but again, I'm still in a bit of shock, and I'll tell you why when we get to the end of this. But it was very nice to see Uzui break character, because as he said beforehand, his flashiness is basically for his siblings, and then probably now his wives as well, to try, as he said, to make sure that he lives the flashiest life and they get to live the flashiest life as well. And so the moment Hinatsuru is in danger, you can hear it in his voice, and I really love the voice acting in this show. Like, it's so good. There's like terror in his voice as he sees that she's there and he cannot reach her. And then luckily enough, like most shows where the person does die when you see the flashback, they gave us a little bit of subversion, and Tanjiro is trying to figure out how he can help. He's like, just be useful, gosh dang it. And again, I wouldn't say this is the greatest mindset to tell yourself, and I hope the show dives in on this, because they've been doing it pretty well so far. So he figures out, or thinks to himself, as he sees Gyutaro's arm, to fuse both the sun style and the water style slash together in order to cut his arms, which gives him more attack and makes him a bit faster. So fast Gyutaro couldn't see him at a point. And the other question now is like how he did the slash was also very important. I was very like, whoa, how did he even get his butt up there? But he did. So Now, Hinatsuru is free, and Uzui is like, bro, I owe you one. He's like, Tanjiro, you have my thanks. As he's about to go try to cut his neck off again. Tanjiro goes to try to cut his neck off again, but he blocks it again somehow. He is really, really getting in the way of that. As they're watching that slash about to happen, Inosuke and Zenitsu are still fighting Daki. Inosuke is like looking at them fighting, and it's really funny because he's like, oh man, they're about to cut his head off. We need to catch up. And Zenitsu's like, Inosuke, get down here. Don't worry about them. We don't have to cut it at the same time. But it's funny because he's asleep and yelling, and he's also serious, Zenitsu. And Inosuke's like, man, you're really something else right now. Which is funny. It's a nice hint of humor in this episode. Oh gosh. So Tanjiro and Tengen fail again. There's like a whole thing where he like starts melding himself to both of their blades, and Uzui grabs him and then throws him off the roof with him. And then Tanjiro's like, man, I got it. Like, he's trying to figure out which one he picks, because Zenitsu and Inosuke need his help, but so does Uzui, and Uzui is poisoned right now. And Hinatsuru is still behind him, and he has to make sure that she's still okay. And as they're even talking, she's almost attacked. She does get to escape the battlefield, but even right then, she was almost attacked. Luckily, Zenitsu helped as well. And so the three boys, set up their little plan to try and take off Daki's head, and it was really fun to watch. Tanjiro and Zenitsu decide to defend Inosuke as he's running in to do the charge to kill Daki. She is doing all her freaking scarf things from beforehand. Stab, right? But the boys are doing a great job of defending. And it's so cool watching Zenitsu and Tanjiro fight at the same time with Inosuke running in the middle. Can I say what this reminded me of? It's like a Sonic Heroes team attack. Or like freaking their dynamic where it gives me a little bit of Ed and Eddie vibes. I love that. I love that so much. It's what I grew up on my whole entire life. So I was so freaking pumped to watch this. And they do it. Inosuke chops or saws her head off, grabs it, and runs away with it. And the reason why this is a quick episode is because she decided I wanted to get here, and I really don't want to get here. So Inosuke grabs her head and runs it as far as he can, because if her head isn't close to her body, she can't put it back on. The issue is Inosuke gets stabbed by Gyutaro right in his back, possibly through his chest, heart. So and if you remember, his blades are made out of poison, or he has poison in his blades. So Inosuke might genuinely, unless we get some real plot convenience here, be dead. That's like heavy, dude. Heavy. Especially because Inosuke really just started developing. For me, this is a bit weird because I used to like dislike him when we first met him because he was a pain in the butt. He's quite rude and awful. But Inosuke has been growing so much. You guys can hear it in every episode that I've been given so far, is how much I like to talk about the boy's growth. And that was heavy. You guys didn't get to watch season 1 with me, but season 2, yeah, I was like at the very end of season 1, I was like, man, they really made Inosuke grow. And so I was happy to see him go from where he was in season 1 to season 2. And now he's just, woo, yeah, Inosuke is probably actually dead. He even falls down, he lets go of the head, he drops both of his blades, and he's falling to the broken roof. And then, so obviously, how did Gyutaro get all the way to Inosuke if he was fighting Uzui? And then we look over to our left with Tanjiro, and we see Uzui lying in a pile of blood, and his arm chopped clean off on the ground. So, let's say Uzui survived. He still lost a whole hand already to one of the demons, and he is in a puddle of blood, poisoned. So I don't know his odds either. Then Tanjiro is, because he's weakened, obviously. This man's been spamming water breathing technique for the last hour, and Zenitsu comes by and pushes him off the roof before this giant explosion's about to happen, and all you hear is Tanjiro apologize and think about how he should have went with Uzui, and how he should have he should have seen what was going to happen to Inosuke, and how Zenitsu didn't need to come save him. He should have just did it himself, because he's not going to do anything right now. He's too weak for this. and he just apologizes to Nezuko, and we end the episode off of him just going, sorry, I'm sorry. Bro, I am, that's a good episode. It's awful. It's absolutely terrible, but I keep trying to grab my Mountain Dew to drink it. I am almost in shock how good that episode was. Oh my gosh. Like, we had so much more development for, like, Hinatsuru. We got to see Tengen's, like, real character. Like, his depression. 2, what he looks like when he's about to lose something that's very precious to him. And Tanjiro at the edge of his wit, really just, this man has tried everything. Not only did he have to fight Daki by himself, not only go to a crazy rage blood mode, not only has he had to fight Gutaro, try to keep Tengen alive, try to play defense, try to make sure that everybody was okay. Now, even with all of that, he's already lost 2 people again. And then we only hope Zenitsu's not too injured. It doesn't look like he will be. Sleep Zenitsu's kind of broken. And then also the fact that he didn't look injured. He just looks like he was falling with Tanjiro. But golly, then a whole Inosuke's gone, and Inosuke got so much character development. Again, if you've watched my previous reviews, and if you haven't, go watch them. I've talked about how he's become smarter, how he slowed himself down, how he has become he started to think a lot more. He used to be so much more about his brute strength and raw viciousness, but he's thought about his teamwork. He's kind to people now. He likes trying to give as many compliments as he can. He's understanding a lot more now. It's crazy. He's done so much. We even got to see his Mugen Train moment where he was sad about Rengoku, and he, even in this episode, I forgot that I didn't mention this, he talks about, like, did all that training mean nothing? Like, with all that training that we just did, it cannot be for nothing. And I mean, there he goes. Like, there he goes. A character that wonderfully redeemed himself in every facet. And there he goes. It's crazy. It's freaking crazy. This is a wild episode. If you haven't seen my other reviews, go watch the other reviews. Tell me your raw reaction to this episode, because I know it was freaking crazy. But yeah, click bottom right, new episode, or last episode. Listen to my review. You can see my shock. You can see how I'm going into this with more shock. All right, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.